it'll be time to switch over. Starting soon. Super late. Who gives a shit? That ought to do it.
My rhymes, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood too. Smell fear, smell a lot. My competitors flex, yeah. Cause they smelled I was hot. I want it all.
The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. You will rest in peace.
Hey, hello and welcome back to Chicken and Rice. I've got to do something real quick. Let's actually make it to where my friends, my co-hosts, the best partners a chum could ever have can be heard. Welcome in, gang. Welcome to episode 9. Today we'll be discussing and talking about The Exorcist and its impact on horror and cinema.
Yes, sir.
How you gentlemen? But before we get to that, how are you gentlemen doing? Is everyone doing well, like in life? This period. Hopefully you're feeling all right.
Besides being under the weather, I'm pretty good, man.
That's good.
You know,
the convenience of your voice.
I'm doing great. Chargers beat the Raiders. I beat Chris in fantasy.
It sounds like a good day.
Is that why
he's not here?
It's a great time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Is that why Juicy's not here? I wonder, like, or is he just sleeping? Excuse me, Jason. Because he's been working.
Blue Jays tie.
That may be it, but okay. Hey, Axel, we thank you for being here. We love you. Anyway, there's a chair of legend too, from the Beast.
Yes, sir.
Before we continue too, I must also say for all you, I almost said cool cats and kittens, never that. For all you boxing fans, Carol Baskin, but for all you boxing fans, at basically in an hour, the press conference for Fury Wilder 3, the last press conference before the fight, is in an hour. You can catch it on YouTube. Just look it up. It's going to be good. I wonder if Wilder is actually going to say something this time. I don't know. Anyway, why rocking that Naruto shirt right now too? Really putting y'all on. What y'all need to be watching. Okay. Why don't we dive in? Beast, let's go on in. The Exorcist, supposedly the scariest movie ever made. The stories of people passing out in the theaters, people fainting like they had to be stretchered out, people like they couldn't stop shaking, like they couldn't sleep. Like this movie changed the world.
Hell, the music was just on a whole other level when it started.
It was. And the film, oh yeah, baby. That's the shirt now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the film, there was another point, like I lost it that fast. I don't know, but it will come back to me. Like the movie was revolutionary too. I just remembered, because if you pay attention, horror films don't win or even get nominated for Academy Awards.
Oscars and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. This movie did.
I believe came out in 1973, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a pretty sensitive time too, where people were easily scared by movies, right? Like, which is like a point we were going to touch on. Right.
Yeah, the supernatural is a definite thing.
But it's funny because exorcisms themselves, at the time the film came out in 73, were all but extinct, right? Like people weren't getting them anymore until they saw the movie, and suddenly there was a huge spike in interest of people trying to send in their loved ones for exorcisms because they didn't know what was wrong with them. So that movie revived it in the same way that Scream unintentionally revived the whole slasher genre when it came along to make fun of it, like, and kill it for good. The Exorcist movie revived that whole thing. Of course, today, like, it's, we're past that now, like today.
We got modern medicine, at a whole new level, man.
Medical science back then, though, that's another aspect to the film, how scary the movie is, too. Like, the medical science at the time, or how it's a good movie. But back to that reputation, the notoriety. the scariest movie ever made. It's not the scariest movie ever made. Don't get your hypes up like that.
At its time, it probably was,
yeah,
though.
At its time, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. But
like, what was it? Before those times, we had like films like what, Dracula,
right,
Bela Lugosi,
the Universal monster movies, and yeah, and the Hammer remakes, and I think Rosemary's Baby came out before it, and then I think The Omen came out before The Exorcism too. Like, I may be wrong with The Omen. I think The Omen may have been after.
Yeah.
Spring Break 20, bruh. You already know. That was the time to be alive. If y'all wasn't alive in 2017, bro, 16, 17, 18, golden age of time period, like to be alive. Y'all wasn't alive during that time period. If you wasn't in college during that time period, bro, you missed out. Let me see if this is actually working now. Like, is it going to work? Yeah. I want y'all to see my background. See, you can see it here on the stream now. Like, I'm out here in the city.
If you look closely in the background, you can see Jay sleeping.
That's right. See, like, he's right there in that window. Right there. Just hogging. Anyway, let's get back to the point. It's kind of lagging, so I'll turn it to my real cam. Back to The Exorcist. We'll answer at the end of this what we feel the actual scariest movie ever made is. So y'all gentlemen think about that if you don't know. I know. I'm ready to answer that. I believe I have my answer ready.
I have mine.
Look at the beast. The Obi-Wan thinker. But why don't we talk about the movie itself? I'll start with a bit. It opens with the excavation, I believe, of this statue of a figure resembling the demon Pazuzu. Now, it may be a bit early to say that because Pazuzu is never referenced by name in the film intentionally. In fact, the demon refers to itself as the devil itself, which is a hell of a lot more scarier than it just being like a named demon like Pazuzu. I think they made the right choice there. Then we switch over. There's a woman. She has a daughter. Her daughter's name is Reagan. And she has a Ouija board, right?
Oh, yeah. And she had already played with that goddamn thing.
It was at this moment.
She knew. She fucked up.
Exactly. And of course, like, she playing around with it, because people stupid, especially little kids, so they be playing too much, right? You ever want to just backhand a little kid?
To be fair, though, who the hell got it for her? Think about that.
True. She's just a kid. Like, she didn't go get it herself.
Yeah, that shit falls on the parents, man.
Right. Most things do fall on parents, even though they want to, want to blame their kids for everything.
Bad parenting.
Right. So, as you could probably guess based off the title of the movie, the whole playing around with the Ouija board starts leading to some big problems in the household. Something's up with Reagan. Something's wrong with her. Medical science at the time can't find out what it is. Her condition continues to deteriorate. And the mother is so desperate that she turns to exorcisms. The film itself acknowledges that exorcisms have gone out. Like, that's not a common thing anymore. People don't go for that. But she's so desperate that she does go for it. And all hell just unleashes.
Literally.
Like, the more they try to get at her, like, and save Reagan, who might as well just be a passenger there for the ride, because she is still in there. But
for those of you who have never seen The Exorcist but have seen the Boondocks, remember that that episode where Uncle Ruckus comes by to help exorcise the spirit of Stink Meaner because he comes back? Yeah, that's basically what it was, minus the racism. With that being said, go watch the Boondocks. Fucking great show.
There was
go watch
Boondocks
going
on in that house.
Oh, there definitely was some racism at the time going in the house, most likely.
Definitely.
And then on that note too, if you haven't seen The Exorcist, you've probably seen one of the many either ripoffs or parodies. Like, it's been done to death. It's been done to death.
Scary movie too.
It's been done to death.
Get this demon out of me! And he's just taking a shit. This Chef's
A lot of
Chef's Kiss. They were on point with that one.
That's very accurate. I've been on it, bro.
Everywhere.
When you go sit on that
God,
toilet and you got to take your clothes off, and you
Oh,
sweating,
that's some serious.
and you like
You
this.
saw me before we got on live.
Was it in Scary Movie 2 where he walks in and then he just sees the demon and he's just like, oh, fuck this. He just tries to walk out.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been a normal reaction to some shit like that.
Some shit like that. Anyway, but it's funny you bring that scene up because that's probably one of the most pivotal parts. Like, and I'm kind of skipping some things too, like the whole spider walk stuff. Like, and that comes from the version you've never seen. Like, some things change, but skipping to that end scene where Pazuzu, or should I call it the devil? Which one?
It's left in ambiguity for the audience.
It's ambiguous. But
it's like, which is worse?
The entity is growing so strong that it's even changed the condition in the room, where it is like it's freezing cold in the room. When people talk, you can actually see the smoke coming out of their mouth, right? And someone brought up a really good point that if that were done today, it would easily be CGI coming out of their mouths, right? But back then,
definitely.
no, like they actually had to get that room to that cold of a temperature, like to where you can see voices. Like they had to do it. And so I think that helps the actors too, though, because they're actually freezing cold in there when they're trying to perform the scene, like the exorcism. Is he a priest, or should we call him father? But the guy that's trying to perform it,
both of them are priests.
The deeper they get into it, bro, like the entity actually kills him, like straight up from. What is it that exactly kills him? Because he goes flying toward the wall, right? Like, and he dies. But I don't think it's the impact of the wall. No, that's the other one.
Heart attack.
That's the other one.
The other priest.
That's the other guy. We're talking about the first one.
Sends him into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's so much the demon. I think it's just him exerting too much of himself, and his body just can't do it.
The shock and all, too, right?
Yeah,
you know what's funny?
It's trying to. It was, I believe, to represent like the true struggle of humanity fighting evil. Like, and in his case, he was a father fighting evil for probably a long time. So he finally just couldn't fight the good fight anymore.
You know what's funny? He wasn't an old man. Like, that guy was not old. They aged him up.
It's supposed to be
with makeup.
I think it's supposed to be that he was around so much evil because I think he was at the original dig site.
Wow.
So it's, I think, supposed to imply that he's just been fighting or been around so much evil that it just finally like kind of caught up to him.
I feel ashamed for not properly remembering his name right now too, because he's an absolute legend. He's been in so many different works. He was in The Exorcism, of course. He was even in The Force Awakens. So 2015. You remember the old guy who Kylo Ren kills in the very beginning of the movie?
Oh, yeah, the
that's
guy
him.
That's telling him the power of Christ compels you.
Him. He's in The Force Awakens. He's in a lot of other things. Beautiful. A lot. He was a very accomplished actor. I think he died last year. He was very accomplished. But they aged him up with makeup and such. And the funny thing is, that is probably some of the best makeup, one of the best makeup jobs ever done, because he actually looked like that when he was old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very, that's very compelling. Yeah. That's very compelling. The way that they aged him up in the the way that they aged him up in The Exorcism, like, is how he looks in The Force Awakens when he's actually that age. That's crazy. But anyway.
So something we need to touch on too is the actress herself, Linda Blair.
Yes, the Queen. She had no business doing as well as she did.
How old was she during that film?
Like 14 or something like that, if that.
Yeah, a very, very young Linda Blair sat in the driver's seat to basically be the victim and main antagonist of this entire film.
That's not easy.
And was amazing at it. She was so damn good. She convinced people on the outside watching, directors and all, that she was really possessed, and
Yeah.
no one would hire her because she scared the shit out of them so bad. That is insane, and because of that, she is forever in legend for that.
Forever. Yes. To quickly touch on the sequels before we get back to the original, she does appear in the second one, but not the
We don't
third.
talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about the second movie, so that's all you're really going to hear.
She doesn't appear in the third one because it's a continuation, like directly after the first one. So technically, she's
Father
been
Kerrigan?
saved because Pazuzu or the demon is possessed the father at that point, and so that's why it's going after him.
But there's another
Dura for making that film awesome.
But there's another twist there too. That the corpse of like the dead father has been possessed by the Gemini killer. Actually, like it's not a demon; it's the Gemini killer, like a former serial killer. So there's like a twist there that it's not Pazuzu, it's the Gemini killer, or maybe it's both. Some kind of I don't know. Like, I don't remember everything about Exorcist.
Or maybe when he allowed the spirit to go inside him, something else came in too.
Yeah, right. See, so but. The point is, Exorcist 3 is a good movie and a good sequel. Skip the second one and go straight to Exorcist 3, which really just should have been Exorcist 2.
It's definitely 1, 3, and then 2 just doesn't even make the tier list. It's just gone.
Right. 2 doesn't even make it. Yeah, like, and then there's a fourth film called, I think, Dominion, and it was a prequel to the first movie, and that one is...
Dominicans. Never saw that one coming.
And then they're doing a reboot now that Linda Blair, unfortunately, is not attached to. So don't look forward to seeing her in it. Bro, like that's like doing Candyman, no Tony Todd. That's like doing whatever famous and not have like the face of the franchise.
Hell, like if she's like older or something, cast her as the mom. Fuck it or something.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Or you know what I do? I cast her as like the person who like unleashes Pazuzu like at the dig site.
And then it would be, and then like have like a little throwaway line, like all like, "Oh boy, here we go again," like or something like that, right? Like just like a little passive line,
or just she's like, "Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Someone could have got hurt. That wasn't me."
This time, but the reputation that the movie earned, I feel, is still has earned it. I think it's okay to still call it the scariest movie of all time.
Definitely one of the scariest movies of all time.
At least that, yeah.
At least. And I only say that, but that can be said for every horror film ever made, because as time progresses on, technology and all this other stuff will keep moving forward and enhancing things that former movies could not do because they lacked it.
They were limited by their time.
No. Or even actors. Like maybe some actors portray some sort of horror emotion better than others, and that could just be it too. Because like not everyone can be a Jamie Lee Curtis, for example, and not everyone can be a Linda Blair. You know, those are two sides of a needed coin. One that shows the hunted and the hunter.
Very well put.
Something went through my head when you said it. Yes, but that was very well put. It can still be known as one of the best of all time, one of the greatest, one of the scariest. And I think its impact is what really grants it that reputation because of what came after with the Beast.
Yeah, there's a whole list of things that came after, like that whole movie inspired an entire separate genre of not even just films, but even shows like Supernatural and all that stuff.
Great show.
And a set of films that we're going to get into. So, lads, who wants to go over each series? Because I know CJ wants to cover Sinister. So, Mr. Marcus, do you want to cover Insidious or The Conjuring?
I'll go with The Conjuring.
All right.
This matches perfectly, especially with the way your get up right now for you doing Insidious. It's perfect. It's perfect.
The
mask and the red. Bro, like the demon in Insidious is Darth Maul, baby. I'm still sticking with that.
Anyway, I was waiting for the lightsaber to come out the whole time.
We'll get to that though. I can start with Sinister. So like the impact of The Exorcist, it's like the real first of that month, like the first real popular one. in the same way that Halloween is the first slasher, even though Texas Chainsaw Massacre came first. Leatherface came first, but Halloween's the first real slasher, right? Like, you know what I mean? Okay. Sinister, I feel is still incredibly overlooked and underrated. Why doesn't that movie have the same acclaim that the Insidious series does? And
Well,
I don't get, well, it may be because of the second movie. But
I was gonna say,
yeah,
two things for that is because of Sinister 2,
yeah,
because everyone loves Sinister 1. There's not one person
everyone,
that didn't like
it's
Sinister 1.
unanimous. Yeah,
Yeah, and the also reason for Insidious being alive is because of The Conjuring. James Wan does both films.
James
James
Wan.
James Wan experiences the reality in The Conjuring and then expands in his own by just trying to make it more and more and more with Insidious. So he keeps grounded in reality with Conjuring, then he expands more on the supernatural in Insidious, and then we have Malignant that took a whole different route.
I still haven't seen *Malignant*.
Yeah, so we're
Watch
not going
it.
to talk about *Malignant*. If you
We'll
haven't
talk
watched
about it
*Malignant*, go
though
watch it.
after you watch it. We'll talk about Malignant. Also, because it's a bit of a technicality, this episode was almost about Venom Let There Be Carnage. So y'all are lucky that we're not going to spoil things for you because my compadres haven't seen it yet either. Like, and I refuse to spoil things too, especially the post-credit scene that we need to talk about.
I'm gonna see it on Friday.
So yeah, be looking out for a discussion on Venom Let There Be Carnage. It was good. Juice isn't here right now, so we'll say it for him.
It
His little
was good,
catchphrase.
like,
It was good.
good soup.
Good. I could use some.
In the
good
words
soup.
of Adam Driver, good soup.
Good soup. Adam Driver.
Good soup.
What a man. Anyway,
We love you, Kylo Ren.
we love you. Anyway,
It's weird that I didn't like Kylo Ren at first, but I loved Adam Driver. Is that weird?
No, because I think that's everyone.
Not
That
at
was
all.
my first experience.
That's
seeing him. I was
practically
like, ugh.
everyone.
I was like, ugh, Kylo Ren, what a shitty character. But I like Adam Driver. He looks cool.
I think he was the
He's
best
not
part
too
of that
bad.
trilogy. He was the best part of that trilogy by far. He carried it on his back.
Now,
and
the
his
one
shoulders.
person that was the best part of every Star Wars, Chewbacca. Easy.
I thought he
Every line
died.
he
Getting
said,
arguments from me.
I thought he
Every
died
line
in
he said.
Skywalker Saga.
that hurt. That was about to hurt me different. Every line Chewie says was hard.
Agreed. R2 comes close as a runner-up. But
Oh, yeah, R2 and G.
back to Sinister. Okay, so in Sinister, you're completely taken aback. You don't expect much from it when you first go see it. And I had overlooked it originally when it came out in 2012. Wow, that's almost 10 years ago. That hurts to say. But when it originally came out, but it was acclaimed. And about 3 years later, I met this gentleman here who I'm pointing directly at. And he insisted that everyone sit down and watch Sinister. I'd already seen Sinister. I was like, okay, all right. Like, I'll watch it again. And watching it again was definitely the way. I was genuinely scared. I don't get scared of movies. I laugh during horror movies, right? That's what this generation does. So that's what we do. We laugh at horror movies now. But Sinister had me receding into the couch, like, and everything. And like, I was on my heels and I was like, whoa, like, this is intense, right? Okay. We got a family with, what is it, 2 kids? There's a son and a daughter, right? 2 kids, son and a daughter.
It's a typical family.
Okay, all right.
2 kids,
Right. Like a nuclear family, right?
Also, remember, CJ,
Yeah.
don't forget how the film starts with the hanging.
Yeah. So that's the first. Okay, jeez. That's the first thing you see is it's the family being hung out in the is it in their backyard? Right? Like, or is it?
It's in their fucking backyard.
Yeah, like they're all hung like a fly. But
And you have Ethan Hawke at the helm.
yeah. So
I just realized
they
I could
move
probably
into
do
a
good
house.
Bane with this thing.
Bane. We'll talk about the Dark Knight trilogy one of these days.
Uh-huh.
They move into this house. There are some tapes in a box that the husband finds, played by, again, Ethan Hawke. And if y'all ain't seen Training Day, please go see it with Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington. But anyway, so finds the tapes, starts watching them, and he he begins to see, and he just keeps watching them. Every tape has the death, apparently by suicide or whatever, but then it becomes apparent that it's not suicide because of the way it's happening, like in the way they're reacting, of the parents of a
Not just
family.
parents.
The whole family. The whole family.
No, it's always the majority of the family ends up dying, and the youngest always goes missing.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. So, and then like the lead of the film, played by Ethan Hawke, just continues to go down this rabbit hole, like, and things just get creepier, like in Stranger with his kids too. Remember that scene like where the boy comes out of the box down the hallway like that? Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, like it was like, boy,
that was crazy.
no, he'd have got beat. What would have been like, I don't know what you think you're doing in this hallway, but you go, ah. I don't know what you think. Go get beat. But movie goes on, and then Ethan Hawke begins to discover things in the videos in the background you're probably not supposed to see, right? A figure.
And no one likes to see behind the scenes like footage or like
Right.
the person holding the camera. That's a rookie move.
A face, if you can even call it that, of
And it looks like this actually.
yeah. Oh, look at
It
that,
really
the
does.
big red machine. Oh God. Anyway, but
I didn't even realize that.
and
I forgot.
he begins to piece it all together a little bit more, but they move out of the house, right? Which is one of the smartest moves you can make in a horror movie. You know what? Let's leave. It's that simple. But guess what? Shut up, Jace. But anyway, but our resident sleeper is in chat right now, everyone, for anyone wondering. But they move, again, very intelligent decision, but of course, it follows them. Yeah, that doesn't fix anything. Like, it's not the house. It's not the house that's the problem. Yeah, it's not the house that's the problem, as you would think it would be. Like in most movies, like the grounds are haunted. They want you to get out. Like they're all like, get out, right? Like and all that. Like, get out here. Like this is our territory. Not in this movie. And when they move, that's when the conclusion is reached. It is revealed that the reason the youngest always disappears, first of all, the youngest child is the one who is committing the crime here of killing off their family. All right. So you're like, whoa, what? Why? Because of Bagul, who like I'm just naming now. You see Bagul throughout the film subtly, but it becomes less subtle more and more as the movie goes on. Like that one scene where Ethan Hawke turns his head and Bagul turns and looks at him in that image, because it's a supernatural force. Bagul is. So in the end, the youngest of the family kills them all, and Bagul emerges in full. Takes the girl. Something just happened upstairs. My apologies. Like, it's kind of scary because I'm talking about Bagul right now too. But shut up.
Say his goddamn name 3 times fast, why don't you?
Bruh, I got spooked, bruh. But anyway, Bagul takes the child, takes him into the film along with the rest of the kids too. There you go. Like, that's how that goes. And of course, there's one last jump scare in the attic too. Pretty good jump scare at the end that'll make you shit yourself. Even if you know it's coming.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, so Ethan Hawke. But
Ethan Hawke.
you also see the spirits of all the other kids too throughout the film. Like that scene where they were running throughout the hall. Right? Bagul has taken them all. Bagul's taken them all. And he's claimed another one at the end.
Pedophile.
That is how you end. That is how you end a movie. It does not need to have a happy ending. No, the bad guy wins, straight up, because that happens in real life too. We need more movies like that. The bad guy wins. It happens. But anyway, solid movie. very tense, just very well done overall. And thank you, Craig, for setting everyone straight on that night. Everyone was scared in that room too. I remember, like that.
Yeah, the
That was in
fucking
your
best part
room.
about the best part about that film too is like if you look at all the films, if you watch them the first time, you can actually see Bagul still.
Yeah.
And then they do a thing where it's like if you rewatch the film the second time, you can actually see him, and then makes you think, shit, should I rewatch this film myself to see if I didn't catch him? And then you see him, you're like, oh. Plus,
Don't do it.
as CJ brought up too, that watching or leaving the house is usually a good thing, but it actually becomes a bad thing because it actually speeds up the process for what Bagul does. And forgot to mention that before the little children murder everybody, first, fuck that lawnmower moment. Second of all, the secret of the ooze is what destroys them. Fucking Bagoo's like, make a teenage mutant ninja turtle, and just pour little goops juice everywhere, and it's like, go ahead, little child, call me Master Splinter. I dropped something, and I don't care. Dedicated to the bit.
All of those deaths actually kind of got me. Like the lawnmower one, like of course, is the one with the biggest shock. But the ones that really resonate with you and sit with you, the car fire, but because it's the worst way to die, the drowning one, like where they're tied to the chairs.
Not only just that.
Bro.
Dude, the car fire though, when you hear that weird ass.
Yeah. I made the silly mistake of watching the movie alone the very next year, correct? So sophomore year, everybody was gone like all day, and it was still kind of daylight, but it was going away. So it was like dusk, right? And
oh no, dusk
it was getting
on?
darker as I was watching the movie, and I was watching it alone in the room. I was too scared to get up and turn the lights on too. Like at one point, I was just cowering under the covers, watching Sinister. I was like, this is the worst mistake I've made all year. What am I doing? Like, why did I put this on?
You know, it's bad when he knows that he can turn off the film, he just doesn't.
Yeah, like, well, I wasn't going to turn it off.
I think it's out of fear. I think it's out of fear that you'll feel like the film will start playing itself.
Right.
That would be my fear.
Yeah, I feel like also, it would too. Like the tapes were doing that, didn't they? Like in the movie, like the tapes wouldn't go away too. Like, bro, that movie is scary. Also, that's a master class.
Quick props to the actor who played Bagul.
Yes,
because that scene where he's underwater is all him. It's not special effects. They actually put weights, I believe, under him while he's wearing the mask, and he just has to just.
That's horrifying.
He just fucking turns at the camera, just looks at it, and just like, get out of there! Oh, I would be scared shitless because you know they have to set that out and be like, action! Did he hear us? Action! just. Oh, he's dead. By God, he's dead. We killed Bagul. Did he have a family?
I remember what scene you're talking about, like the underwater. Is it when there's the image of him underwater? Because I thought that was just a guy standing there, like there was a reflection of him on the water. He was actually underwater.
Yeah, it's actually the first time you see him, like when we first see Bagul, and they do the pull one, and then it shows him underwater, and just you see the water just moving, and he's under there, and just slowly turns to look at the camera, and you're just like, oh, chills.
Bruh,
so he was really underwater.
That dude's a badass.
Yeah, that dude has fucking nuts of steel.
Yeah. Anyway, okay,
lungs of
Sinister is brilliant. It's one of the best horror movies. It's in my top 10 personally. It's genuinely scary. And to jump ahead and answer this question, no, it's not the movie I think is the scariest of all time. Gotcha. It's up there though, like it's really good. We're gonna move on to Insidious.
Sure, I know.
We're gonna move on to Insidious.
Because we don't talk about Sinister 2.
Yeah, we don't talk about Sinister 2. Yeah.
Short end of that, it's basically just the flip perspective, like if we got to see what the kids were doing and everything.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
Man, they dropped the ball.
They didn't explore that. Yeah, they dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball big time.
Killed
the franchise.
So Insidious, I don't remember every character's name, mainly because I watched Malignant like 8 times over recently, so I got more of those characters stuck in my head.
I don't
But
remember any characters out of it. Don't worry. You don't need to.
so Insidious is about a typical family, you know, mother, father, uh, and a son. And the son is up in the attic. He gets spooked by something, and then he goes to sleep, and he just doesn't wake up. And it's not like he hit his head or anything. Like he lands just like on his ass in the attic, and they just go find him to check on him, and he's okay. He's awake, but when he goes to sleep, he doesn't wake up. And they take him to the hospital, and it's nothing scientific either. Like it's not a coma that he's in. He's just not waking up. They're like, oh, all his vitals look normal, and so he's just not waking up. We don't know what's wrong with him. And that is, first of all, the worst thing to hear as a parent, to hear
Right.
that I don't know what is wrong with your kid. We don't know. We can't help you. Basically, that is the worst thing to hear.
I couldn't imagine having to
Um,
hear it myself, man.
so the grandmother comes in, and she's like, "Oh, well, I might have an idea to bring in." I forgot the old lady's name, but she's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look up her name real fast. I brought up my phone so you know that I'm telling the truth. She's
The dedication of this man. You see that? You see that? He brought
What
his
a guy.
phone all the way from hell.
and I have to hold it this close to my face because my fucking my line of sight is cut off by a lot.
That's a mask? I always thought that's
I
what you
know,
actually
right?
looked like. Nani!
Anyway, so Elise is the Exorcist medium spirit shenanigans. She's the ass kicker of ghosts. She takes names and she puts them in her Luigi-sized vacuum cleaner. That's what she does, baby. Anyway, she goes on to let them know that he's most likely possessed, and they go check out the room. And then she says that she has a vision where she's watching. Oh no, this is the grandma saying it. She has a vision where she's watching the kid asleep, and then there's this demon that's like whispering sweet nothings in her ear from before. I don't know how he does it. It's pretty sexy.
Sweet nothings.
Anyway, so with this film that does not feature Ethan Hawke, you see the demon in the corner, just covered in darkness. You can just see, like, if you look close, you can see his hooves and you can see a tail. And then he points, and he has these sharp fucking claws that, like, the fingers like this. It's like two fingers wrapped into one, and just point like I want the boy. And you're just like, oh. And then as she's talking about this, she looks back at the husband, or not the husband, the dad. And then you see his face. She's like, I'm Darth Maul, bitch. Short end of that story, we find out that, like, oh, we thought, like, the house was haunted, so they moved. Turns out Elise tells them, actually, no, it's actually you that's haunted, the dad. And there's proof because they have photos of this woman in black that is getting closer and closer and closer and closer with every other photo she shows. And I was like, I was freaking the fuck out. Let me
It
tell you.
follows.
It not only followed, it was there for every photo shoot. She was like, my kid's first dump that he's taking snapshot, and you can see her just like handing him toilet paper. So it's scary. Anyway, so long story short of this, they go into what they call the further through a spiritualist medium way. They shut off the brain type of thing, and they go and get it because it's like a new way of exorcism. And so the further is held by a bunch of spirits, but by doing so, you got to try not to interact with anything because if you wake anything up, it'll see you and come back with you because you open a spiritual door, so to speak, as Mr. Mock has touched on earlier. And so they go back to get the boy. The dad goes in there. Elise goes in there. They grab him. Darth Maul is pretty pissed, and then the woman in black reappears, and he's like, "Go away! Get away from me! Flex my chest! Look at me! I'm gonna be an Aquaman one day! What you gonna do, brother?"
Brother.
It kind of looks like it works because it pans away like, and she's like, "Ah!" She's going away. And then we come out, and it's like, it was a good day. Everything worked. My boy's safe. My husbando's safe. You know, the woman's like, oh, we're going to have such stellar, safe sex to celebrate. Everyone's going to get a cookie. It's going to be fun. And Alicia's like, yeah, let me just go check on her. Okay. She's like, yeah, good job, fam. Telling it to the dad. Like, yeah, send me some skin, dog.
Mm.
And then she's like, wait a minute, that skin looks a little pale. And then snaps a shot. And then he's like, why did you do that? You bitch! And he starts choking. He's like, and then he kills Elise. They find her dead body. And then snaps the shot. The flashback of it, of when she snaps the shot, the woman in black has taken over and we don't know what happened to Husbando Daddio, but he ain't in control.
Is this the same
And
woman in black from the movies? Like the woman in black?
if it is, then
That's one heck of a
that ain't
crossover.
that
By the way,
ain't no
Marcus,
woman.
there's a comment there directly for you, so you should be keeping up with chat too. It's a comment from you.
Okay, let me pull up. I don't have it up right now. Let me pull it up.
Anyway, so with that being said, that is the end of Insidious. Chapter 2, CJ, should I just cover all of Insidious real quick?
Make it brief, I would say. I'll tell you one thing, though. I'm going to watch Insidious again because I've never really been too big on it. I was always more of a Sinister guy, but I'm going to watch Insidious
there
again.
There are 4 chapters in Insidious. The second one picks up where the first one leaves off. Turns out we get to learn more in-depth details about the woman in black, and it's all about trying to fix that problem. The third one is a prequel of how Elise met the 2 guys that she works with and how it all started. The fourth one is technically fourth one, I believe, is a sequel after the third one, where Elise almost gave up, and it sets up right before the first one occurs.
Mm.
So technically, the timeline order goes 3, 4, 1, 2, until the 5th Insidious comes out, I believe. But yeah, it's Insidious Chapter 2, 3, and then 4, Last Keys. And yeah, if you want to go check them out, I gave you pretty much the entirety of the first one, which is very good.
Mm.
And I know it's critically acclaimed, even though it does not feature Ethan Hawke.
Is there?
But
Did you say there's going to be a 5th?
supposedly it's in the making.
Interesting.
But we're going on to The Conjuring.
Mark, why enlighten
Alright.
us?
Okay, my personal favorite of, I wouldn't say of any horror franchise, but one of my personal favorites just because they're more recent, The Conjuring. So, the way The Conjuring starts out is in the movie, just like most other horror films, family moves into a new house. It doesn't know what is waiting for them. So, the family, I believe this isn't like the first night in the house, they try to play a game called hide and clap, like hide and seek, but the seeker has their eyes closed, and the way to find everybody is
blindfolded.
Yeah, she's blindfolded. Yeah. So
This shit's
after
scary
that
already.
game, during this game of hide and clap, they locate I believe it's in like a closet or something. They find I think the wall's kind of hollow, and it leads to a cellar. So after that discovery, the dog of the family, I think his name is Sadie, does not want to go in the house anymore. The dog doesn't want to go in the house anymore for whatever reason. They can't determine why. The next morning, they come out and they find the dog is dead. Its body is outside, and that's when all the shit starts. So that is when the 2 goats are brought into the movie, Ed and Lorraine Warren. And by the way, if you guys don't know, the movie is based on a true story. Ed and Lorraine were involved in the Amityville Horror.
Oh gosh.
Another one of, and one of the most biggest paranormal events, I guess you could say, in movie history and in actual history. So Ed and Lorraine are involved because of the paranormal things happening in the house. The mother goes to one of their seminars to get help. The 2 of them, who are spiritual mediums, they're brought in to take control the situation pretty much. When that happens, things start to get even more crazy, and the mother ends up being possessed by, what is the name of the spirit? Bethesda.
Sheba.
Yeah, but Bathsheba.
Bethesda is a gaming company.
Okay,
The terror, Bethesda.
Bathsheba. Thank you, Craig. So it's then that the mother is possessed by the demon and is trying to kill the children. It is then that Ed and Lorraine perform an exorcism and exorcise her at the demon's ass right up out of the mother. So that's a short run through of the film, but the Conjuring films, what are all of them?
Bro, like it has its
Annabelle,
own verse, bro. Like its own
Yeah.
cinematic verse
So,
now.
just for
Comes
clarification,
Home, The Nun, Annabelle Creation, The Conjuring 2. Arguably, the fact that they have their own verse,
Yeah.
arguably one of the greatest
yeah,
horror franchises
out of the
being
three
made.
we've discussed, The Conjuring is definitely the strongest.
I agree. I agree.
Also,
That's why they call it the Conjuring verse.
yeah.
Mm.
So also before I forget to mention this too. So the Conjuring films, being Conjuring 1, 2, and I think 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Anything that's labeled
Very
as such is tried to be held in as much reality of the situation as possible. Anything that's about Annabelle, Annabelle Comes Home, Creation, all that, The Nun, all that stuff, and La Llorona, all that is expanded universe and telling an exaggerated story and making a backstory for their characters. Because the original Annabelle doll is trying to remember what it was.
It was a Raggedy Ann doll.
Thank you. And the demon Valak, that is the nun, is actually not portrayed ever as a nun. In fact, it's portrayed as like I think a man that is like part. I forgot. I'm rusty on my demonology, but yeah, he's one of the generals of hell, basically. Don't fucks with Valak.
Yeah, and the thing about it too is in regards to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and you see in all the films in their house, they have like, I think it's in like their cellar or something, where they have all of the objects from all of the different movies, and that's actually a museum that you can go to, and you can see the original Annabelle doll. You can see all of the artifacts from all of their endeavors through time. And Ed Warren actually passed away a couple of years ago, I think. So it's just Lorraine left.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he died.
Rest up, Ed.
He took an unholy shit and said, you know what? If they attack my booty hole, I gotta go. You on your own, Lorraine. Good luck. Deuces.
And that's how he left us. I
Yep.
did not know that La Llorona was a part of the Conjuring verse. I haven't seen it in a
I
while.
have no arms, gentlemen.
You don't need them. You got a third arm. Just we can't see it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, just to talk about that comment that was meant for me. Atomic Melee 69, the Raiders are trash. And I told you that the Chargers were going to win and bolt the fuck up. Continuing.
Well, where's Chris
And
at?
after
So I
that
can do the
burn,
names.
we will return to our regularly scheduled program.
You thought I was gonna hang myself. Well, guess again. Yo, if y'all know, y'all know. Y'all know. But anyway, I think that's really well. But back to The Exorcist to round things out. We're gonna get on out of here and let y'all enjoy y'all days, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another one with episode 10, which should be our episode with our next guest, which I'll let the Beast touch on later because it's his guest. The Exorcist, is it the scariest movie of all time? Maybe. Is it one of the scariest? Absolutely. Has it spawned an entire subgenre of excellence? Absolutely. And it all is traced back to that one gem that had people passing out in the theaters because it was so ahead of its time for its time. We've caught up to it like it surpassed it now, but great movie. Recommend you see it. We didn't spoil everything for any of the movies we talked about. We recommend you see them all. I'm actually going to go watch the first Insidious myself again, and I'm even going to give Sinister 2 another watch again, as painful as that is to say. Yeah, but thank y'all. Gentlemen, what is your scariest movie ever made? I'll start. The movie that bothered me the most, like just couldn't sleep, couldn't jace, excuse me. Living in my head rent free. It even bothered me during the daytime and still lingers with me now. Those who don't know, I'm a grown ass man. 6'3", big strong nigga, like who people like if I'm walking down the streets, people scared of me.
He built different.
Right. Like people would be scared of me because I'm bigger, like, oh God, you know, right? Like all the women gotta clutch their purses and their children, you know, right? Like smaller men would be all like, oh my goodness, it's a big, strong black, you know, all that. But these movies still get me. But like the one that I'm gonna give the championship to is Hereditary. That's my champion for like the movie that still bothers me to this day. And the thing is, I didn't like it when it first came out, but then I watched it again with a more mature mindset last year. To put it bluntly, fucked me up. So
yeah, that one fucked me up. That one is.
That's a scary movie.
That's a scary ass movie.
Scary movie.
It made something so simple to
that
noise freaks you out.
Fucking terrifying, bro.
I'm not so scared of that film because when the trailer came out, I actually figured out the premise just from the trailer. I actually knew everything that it was leading to because I studied demonology.
It's Payman. Payman.
Yep. I was like, are they leading to the demon Paimon? And then sure enough, at the end, I was like, I wasn't even scared. I was just like, I'm awesome. Suck my nuts.
When a Stranger Calls, sorry, wrong video title. One Missed Call was a movie that got me back in the day too. And then like the first Paranormal Activity for some reason really destroyed me when I first saw it too. But then I saw the second one when the bitch getting flamed into the camera and it just destroyed the whole verse for me. Like that shit all became comedy from that point on. All comedy. Yeah. All. All right. Who's going to go next? Scariest movie of all time for you?
I'll go. Scariest movie of all time for me? Aquaman. That movie's so bad. That movie's so bad that it's scary. No. Scariest movie.
I told you. He said he's going to Aquaman.
That movie sucks. But anyways, as a kid, a movie that really, really fucked me up that I had like multiple nightmares about.
I'm already about to agree.
Still remember to this day is The Grudge.
Oh yes, bruh. Yeah.
No. Grudge really fucked me up.
Wait.
You can feel that going down your neck.
Yes.
Both versions, yeah.
Fuck yeah, those ones fucked me up as a kid. And then more recently, I've told you about this movie. This is kind of a cheap movie. It's called Grave Encounters. It's about kind of like a Ghost Hunters type TV show crew.
I know what you're talking about. Were they going to the asylum?
Yeah, they go into an abandonment insane asylum, and
that's a watch party material, CJ. You gotta watch it. It's super good.
That shit is the first time I ever watched it, it was in my room at night. All the lights were off. It was like 3 in the morning. Yeah, mistake.
Marcus,
that shit.
The tub.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, the tub. Yeah, no. I literally, as a grown ass man, like I was like covering my face. Like I was pretty scared.
Man, I was watching that. I grabbed my dog. I was like, "Hold me, man."
So that's when you know, bro. When you a whole grown man now, not a boy anymore. A whole grown man, and a movie is making you cradle. Like me scared, like, nah, bro.
it's like Paranormal Activity's true successor was Grave Encounters, if we want to be serious about it.
No, it's
Which reminds me too, another movie that I didn't bring up to that fucking like, but more specifically, it's the concept of it that really gets me. Like the movie itself, kind of drops the ball. But Lights Out, that whole concept of wherever there's darkness or shadows, there is something there, and you need light, like to be safe, and then it can affect the lights and make them go out, bro. Like, that's terrifying, bro. Like, there's nowhere
CJ,
safe. There's nowhere
that was
safe.
my pick. That was my pick.
Oh,
was it? Well, what a good segue.
yeah, great segue because that's a damn good pick.
Yeah,
Lights
dude.
Out.
The fact it's just so genius. It takes the basic concept of when we were children, we were scared of the dark because we didn't know what was in there, and it put something in there,
Right.
and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
A film I used to be scared of when I was a youngster, and I'll tell you why, but it was Chucky at first. And here's why I was scared of that shit when I was little. My mom had a life-size Chucky doll, and it was fucking ugly.
You stupid bitch.
And she put it just out there, and then Chucky came on, and I was like, man, he is ugly. And then I saw like bits of the film, I was like, oh hell no. As a little kid, I was like, oh fuck yeah.
I'm with you with Chucky, bro.
A good film, I think in 2004 is called Splinter. I'm gonna have to go dark for a moment, folks.
I have been trying to watch Splinter for years. Like I haven't sat down to actually watch it. I want yes, yes, that's what I hear. So yeah, let me turn my here. Two me's, hey. But I definitely want to watch Splinter. You know what? Might as well watch that after. But there's the Blob and the Thing too. There you go.
Oh no, dude, Splinter way better. Splinter's way better. It is. It's got a lot of graphic body horror that is like, it'll curdle some of your bones, man.
You guys ever see The Fog? They're like the
yes.
Yeah. The ending is one of the saddest endings ever.
Dude, I know. I was like, wow. See, patience is a virtue.
That man will never live that down.
They should have continued that film, but just just turn it into like he goes crazy and starts killing people.
He becomes a slasher. Yeah, like it.
At the end of it, he reopens that portal. That would have been cool. There's something worse.
Oh boy, what a chilling ending! Like that's really messed up.
All right, so I think that's it then, right?
Yeah, I do believe we are all done. Also, Jay sleeps. I don't play hide and nap because I don't know what those earthly things are. But we hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. But before we leave, the beast of an announcement for next episode in 2 weeks' time.
So, folks, do you see what I'm doing? 10, 10, 10, 10.
10.
And I ain't talking about Tyler Dillinger. I'm talking about episode 10, Chicken and Rice, baby. We're going to feature the man, Mr. Funko Pix, the rooster, the fucking man that loves She Sweet to no end. And I don't mean Mr. Marcus. I mean my boy. So,
like me?
Yes. So my boy Axel has got so many projects and ideas. He's one of the hardest working people I know. He's one of the coolest down to earth people I know. Fantastic individual. I can't wait for y'all to meet him. Y'all got some questions lined up. Yeah, let the man introduce himself. We're gonna get to know the man. It's gonna be awesome. He says he's got so many things he wants to show us, read to us, and I'm looking forward to all of it. He's a big gaming fan, comic fan, wrestling fan. So he's like me, but just way better. That's just all it is, you know.
Possible.
One hell of a compliment.
If you didn't say it, I fucking know CJ would have. With that being said, though, folks, episode 10 coming Wednesday, October 20th. Shout out to my mama because that's her birthday. Yes, sir.
Hey, all right.
Happy birthday, Mama Beast.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
The mother of the beast.
I amply give her the Ricochet theme song for when she calls me because she is my one and only Mama Bear, Mama Bear. With that being said, CJ, Mr. Marcus, let's do this outro right and go right on to whoever.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I see Laud, Phoenix in chat, Jace, Axel. Thank y'all for coming through. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll say bye now. This has been the Charles Jackson. I'm live later today at 7. See y'all then.
I am NLG_CTV, which stands for New Glow Gaming Clan Television. For the month of Halloween, it is Terror
That's right.
Television.
It's on.
And with that being said, new intro and everything. I am going to be live later tonight. I have been the Beast. I'm Craigles, whatever you want to call me, every which name under the goddamn sun. And I'll see you on the next podcast.
Save the best for last.
That's
I am
right.
Mark. Why?
That's right.
Mark, the young Marcus 17. Jace is sleeping.
That's
Fuck
right.
the Raiders.
That's right.
We out of here.
Jay slept, sleep, and we all left. Also, our missing Rice couldn't be here today, but right. Big shout out
That's why I had to
to
go
the
extra
family
Rice.
disappointment. Penn
He's
Span
recovering
won.
from his loss in fantasy football this week.
Niners down bad. Juice down bad. One Piece down bad. Attack on Titan down bad.
CJ, he's already dead. And don't kick
Disney.
him out. You know what? You're right. Disney, kiss my ass.
Disney is dead. Mickey Mouse.
Just kidding. All products, please sponsor us.
Mickey Mouse got ripped in half by Mother Uchiha. And
no.
we out of here.
Have you played Final Fantasy? I mean, fucking Kingdom Hearts. Mickey can throw hands, dog. That's all I'm saying. That motherfucker's Yoda of that verse.
Bruh,
Well, we
speaking
just
of
playing
Kingdom
around.
Hearts, Sora got added to Smash.
That's gonna be a whole topic of guest characters. That's gonna be a topic.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see y'all. No raid today. We're just gonna get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Boss Axel, we'll be ready for you, baby. We love y'all. See y'all then. Also,
Yes, sir.
I should say, like the games for Spooktober, we're finishing the Outlast DLC later today and then jumping right into Outlast 2. I'm terrified. It's all blind. See y'all then. See you in the Beast stream. See y'all in 2 weeks. Back for Chicken and Rice. Hopefully the Juice can join us for that one too.
And I 100%ed Medieval. I got the
That's
whole
right.
platinum trophy for it and everything.
That's right. He did. If you missed
Next
out,
time.
go watch the VODs.
Well, you're gonna have to see what's coming up next now, ain't you, bitch?
Even I don't know what's coming next. Don't miss it. See y'all then.
You